This week is all about creating silhouettes, how they can be super simple, yet add a great layer of visual interest to your work. So stick with us in this episode of Photography 180, and I'm gonna give you the quick rundown. So there's many reasons why we would want to create a silhouette with whatever it is we might be photographing. It can be people, or it can be a city skyline, it can be an environment, different, it could be a pet, whatever it might be. You know, what we're going for is we're emphasizing shape and form. We're potentially trying to tell a story if we're implying maybe some motion, say with a couple perhaps walking across a skyline. Or, you know, what it's really just doing is creating a different layer of interest. We can use foreground elements. There's so many things you can do while creating a silhouette to really kind of, you know, create a really truly interesting image. Now, what I'm doing here in studio is I'm just demonstrating what we would do in order to create a silhouette here. Typically, we do this a lot with our maternity sessions. We're trying to emphasize the woman's shape of the body with the baby bump and sort of things like that. So the goal here is we want to place our subject with a very bright background behind them. So if we're in studio, we're going to be adding light to our background, whatever that might be. We're using the white wall here in this case. If we're out on location, think of like a high hill with the sky bright behind them. Now we want to make sure they're backlit. We don't want them to be receiving much light from the front, so we position them in the way where the light is strictly coming from the back. Once we expose for that brighter background, we should pretty much be left with just the shape and outline of our subject or whatever it is might be shooting. So here in studio, I have this light set to 132 powers, Explore 400 with a Magmod Reflector XL and the Sphere XL. I've just positioned this wooden sort of model here, thanks to my friend Dave in Florida, in a way that he is positioned sideways, arms up. We're just trying to emphasize shape, utilize some of the negative space areas here. I'm shooting at f5, 1/160th, and ISO 100, and just wanted to demonstrate that with the light hitting that background, we're exposing for that background again, we're just left with shape. So now from here, we can play with all different possibilities. If I'm shooting a couple, we can have them forehead to forehead almost, get both of their outlines. You know, if I move them closer to the bright background, we'll start getting a little bit of detail wrapping around. So maybe it's not 100% a silhouette, but we're still getting a different type of image versus just lighting them from the front. So I think, you know, whatever you might do, if you're layering different foreground elements outside, using trees to kind of frame your subject, and then getting a silhouette through that, there's a lot of opportunities here. So I want to just encourage you to go out there and experiment, have some fun, create some different shots. And it's kind of a simple technique, just expose for that bright background, and you should be left with just the shape, and from there you can play and find all different kinds of creative possibilities. So hope that's been helpful. I want you to get out there, take some shots and share them. We look forward to seeing you guys next week on another episode of Photography 180.